has a filter on it, so you probably don't have to double or triple that one you're using.
We are in the process of making what you call this, prepper's brew.
It's honey mead.
Honey mead.
This is the second. Did you ever videotape the first? Did we videotape the first part of making this? I don't remember.
No,
I think
we
we did. Yeah, this is actually the second.
This is part two.
Process.
We're racking.
Yeah, this has already been put together, cooked down, agitated, and the yeast has already done its thing about changing the honey into alcohol. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and rack it, which means basically take it out of here, put a good filter on it, put it into the carboy, and we'll put the bubbler, the airlock, back on it. So when we stir this up in this process, if there's any more activity that the yeast is going to do, chewing up the rest of the sugar, turning it into alcohol, it'll give it a chance to do that so the bottles don't blow up. You know, you want the process as close to done as you can when you bottle it. So we'll go ahead and filter all this into the carboy, and then we'll let it sit for another month or so, give it a last chance, and then we'll put a heavy-duty filter on it.
Okay.
When we bottle it.
Dafrogtoad is teaching me this process. I've never done this before, and this was approximately 1.5 gallons of honey, wasn't it, that we used in this?
I don't think it was quite that much, but it was in that ballpark. It was just a little bit over 1 gallon.
I can't remember if we added it by volume or by weight.
Weight.
By weight.
Yeah.
But whatever I brought over, there was enough left over to fill a quart jar.
A little bit under. Yeah, I still got that.
And so I brought over 1.6 gallons.
Did you? I didn't see what you measured.
Yeah, so that's what it was I brought over. So I guess this is about 1.5 gallons.
Yeah, we're looking for
of
a medium sweet mead. It's going to be on the sweet side of medium.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks like about a 6-gallon bucket, so that's about 5 gallons of...
This is, if you bring the camera over here, you can see it. It's just a hair over 5 gallons. There's your 5-gallon mark there. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the fluid level is actually right above my dirty fingernail.
So yeah, this is actually a 6-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
And we're right at 5 gallons of... And it already smells just like wine.
When I first took the lid off,
yeah,
you knew there was booze in the house. This was a really good batch.
And this is totally for my bartering stock because I do not drink. But I'm going to make some more of this. This is not the last batch. And we made a half batch of the other, right? Yeah,
you gave me that honey. What was it? Probably sometime in the late spring, early summer of this year.
Right.
So that would have been about 7 months ago, and I made a half batch out of it. And that was a very dry mead because we were at the tail end of the bee season and didn't have a whole lot of honey. So that mead came out real dry. This should be substantially sweeter.
And we had, what did we get, 20 bottles out of there or 10 bottles? I can't remember.
I know it was more than a dozen.
It was a dozen bottles, that's what it was. 12 or 13 bottles.
Yeah, something like that, because we emptied one box of bottles, and I think there was a couple left. How many bottles came in that box? Do you remember?
I don't remember. This process has been going on for several months now, so we're forgetting what we did back then, and we didn't video.
I've got it all written down.
We didn't video any of the earlier process, so today is just racking it, filtering it, putting it in the carboy, and putting the bubbler on, and we'll let it run for how long? Another month?
Well, there's no really way to time it. You just go ahead, I check it every day or so, and I watch the bubble. And if a couple of days go by and you don't see any bubbles, it's pretty much done.
And it looks like watered down honey, but it smells like wine, super fine wine.
When this batch was first put together, and go ahead and show the bubbler in the sink there so they know what we're talking about. This is the airlock bubbler right here. It's actually full of rum, which is what I use. That keeps anything from growing in the bubbling water, so I just use booze in that. When you first made that batch...
It kills the liver of any algae that would grow in
there. There you go. And any algae that survives it, you want to eat it, so you get the heart of algae like that, you know? Yeah. This thing was bubbling once every maybe second and a half at first batch. That's how fast it was bubbling, a lot. And just for y'all who don't know what's going on here, when the yeast is literally eating the sugar in the honey, the byproducts of it eating are alcohol and carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide is what's bubbling out of here. So we're just putting this is just a little siphon. And I'm running one end, and Dirt Rooster's got the other end of it. My job is to keep the sediment off that's on the bottom of this from coming up the siphon. His job is to guide it through that paint filter and that funnel.
And this funnel has a filter in it as well.
Yeah, like I said, if we were bottling, we'd probably filter be a lot more retentive about the filtering. But we're not bottling. This is just...
we'll be filtering again before we bottle.
Oh, we'll be filtering it during the bottling process big time.
Pretty cool little siphon.
Yeah, it works really well. And all this stuff, for those of you who might be interested in getting into it, I want to say, I think I paid right about $160 for everything I needed to make mead, with the exception of the honey. All the tools, the buckets, all of that stuff. This is not an expensive...
I think the corker was the most expensive thing.
Yeah, I'm not counting the corker in my expenses because I wouldn't recommend somebody buy one. I just got held out to dry by my other mead making friends who decided not to bring the corking machine. So I went and bought one. Usually a couple of buddies can get together. And
we picked that up at a local wine supply, and they had everything. The buckets, the carboys, the yeast, siphons, bubblers,
and recipe books.
Mm-hmm.
And most of your winemaking folks are really good about advice and exchanging ideas. It's like any other hobby.
Getting to the bottom. That's yeast corpses.
Yeah, that's the dead bugs at the bottom. They've done their job of making booze, and now we're trying to avoid getting their corpses in the finished product there.
You're getting pretty close to full here.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be able to get every oog and erg. We're going to want to stop. I can't see that jar as well as you can down there, but right about the time that the liquid takes the final curve is when you want to stop.
Okay.
By the looks of this jug, we've only got maybe half a gallon left in here, at best.
And then the rest of this we're going to set outside, and the bees are going to have a block party.
Bunch of drunken bees.
No, we'll actually dump this, whatever we don't use. That's what we got. Probably after what we lost from having trash in it, there's let's see, that's a half a gallon, I guess, left in there.
Yeah, but I'd say at least when you put your camera down in the bucket, let's show the folks. See how much of that is actually not usable.
Yeah.
So look at that. That is a lot of...
We were a little over the 5 gallon mark to begin with, so I'd say we're at 4.6 or 7 gallons in this carboy.
A good batch. Let me go ahead and put it up on the table.
There it is in some good light, with the bubbler atop.
Now there's no guarantee it'll bubble at all.
Double skull poison mark behind it.
That's it. The Halloween batch right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's no guarantee that'll even rebubble. We don't know if it will or not. But it's one of those things that's better. You're better off to be safe than sorry.
These little lizards are hunting. They're hanging out on these flowers waiting on the bees to land and snapping them up. I think that one just had a meal. He's licking his chops.